Oh, good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming out today. We've been doing these pretty much weekly, so I want to thank the media who came to cover this. We have representatives from the or leaders from Joliet schools that are here today. I'll go through the city's numbers and kind of give an update, and then we're going to have them address the media. There's a couple other points we want to make, and then I'll open it up for questions. So, again, good morning, everybody. As of last night, currently the city of Joliet is tracking 1,022 positive COVID-19 cases. 746 of those cases are coming from different addresses in Joliet. Our Joliet Fire Department has transported over 100 known positive cases. The Will County Health Department is listing 114 of these cases coming from Joliet nursing homes. The Illinois Department of Public Health is listing 288 cases from Joliet nursing homes. And I think the discrepancy there probably cuts to the heart of a little bit what's going on here in Joliet. The nursing homes do not report to the city or to the Will County Health Department. They report directly to the state. So unfortunately, we saw this early on with Symphony. There was some disconnect between what the state of Illinois knew and what we knew locally. But that number of 1,022 positive cases, 288 from Joliet nursing homes. Some good news, 718 of the 1,022 positive cases are currently more than 2 weeks old. So the rule of, or the thinking is that after 2 weeks, the virus has worked its way through somebody's system. So that's positive news. Joliet nursing homes, as far as deaths in Joliet, again, the Will County Health Department has reported 89 total deaths from COVID-19 in Joliet. The Illinois Department of Public Health is telling us that 57 of the 89 deaths have come from Joliet nursing homes. Specifically regarding the nursing homes, and these numbers are a little bit dated, the Illinois Department of Public Health will release them once a week. So these numbers go back to last Friday, May 8th. Symphony of Joliet was reporting 127 positive cases, 24 deaths. Our fire department has transported 15 known positive patients from Symphony. The last call we've received from Symphony was on May 10th. Villa Franciscan on Springfield is reporting 58 positive COVID-19 cases with 12 deaths. Our fire department has reported transporting 3 known positive patients, and the last call to Villa Franciscan was on May 12th. The park at Joliet on Hames is reporting 49 positive cases with 9 deaths. The fire department has transported 4 people from the park. The last call we received was on May 13th. Sunny Hill Nursing Home on Doris Avenue is reporting 40 positive cases with 11 deaths. The fire department has transported 1 known COVID patient. The last call at Sunny Hill was on May 12th. Joliet Terrace on McDonough Street is reporting 3 positive cases with 0 deaths. The last call at the Terrace for our fire department was on April 30th. Lakewood Nursing Home on Hennepin is reporting 2 positive cases with 0 deaths. The last call we received from Lakewood was on May 5th. Salem Village on Rouse is reporting 2 positive cases with 0 deaths. The last call the fire department received was on May 5th. And then finally, Spring Creek on Draper is reporting 7 positive cases with 1 death. The last call was on May 13th. Our fire department did respond to Spring Creek 3 times on May 13th for COVID-related calls. Our hospitals are reporting, I think, fairly positive news. Silver Cross has conducted over 1,600 tests. They currently have 38 people in isolation. 27 are confirmed positive COVID patients. 11 are persons under investigation. They have discharged 275 COVID patients since this began, so that is good news. St. Joe's Hospital is reporting 36 positive cases. 5 are currently on ventilators, and they have 17 people is listed as persons under investigation. They are reporting that they are once again going to begin surgeries starting today at St. Joe's, so it's good to see some sense of normalcy coming back to the hospitals. You know, I say this every week, just they've done a great job, the medical professionals. Both Silver Cross and St. Joe's have been on top of this and have really done a great job adapting to the crisis. So I want to thank everyone involved at both hospitals. Stateville Prison is also reporting fairly positive news. Of the outbreak that happened in Stateville about 3 weeks ago, they currently have only 39 people currently isolated, and they are reporting that of the 110 prison employees who tested positive for COVID, 97 of them have fully recovered already. So that's good news from Stateville. All total countywide, the Will County Health Department is reporting 4,090 confirmed cases of COVID and 231 deaths across the county. Deputy Chief Carey, I do want to thank him on the fire department. He puts these numbers together for me every week. He did issue a warning, and this is, I guess, unofficial, but he wanted me to get this word out. He's actually gone back and looked at the COVID deaths that the fire department has been involved in, the transports that they've made. Every one of the cases that the fire department knows of, the reports show that the patient was reporting having difficulty breathing the day or the night before they called the fire department. So these were people who knew they had the virus but were at home. They were not hospitalized. And the deputy chief wanted to basically put this out there. If you are positive and if you begin experiencing those problems, you should call 911 immediately and get medical help. The belief is that this is the beginning of pneumonia, and if you don't recover, your lungs could, or if you don't get immediate treatment, your lungs could fill with fluid, making it difficult or impossible to breathe. This is what we're seeing here. It's a small sample size, but what we're seeing in Joliet. So again, if you are positive and you are asymptomatic or at home, isolated, and you begin having breathing problems, please do not wait. Call immediately, and our fire department will get you the medical help that you need. He also reported that of the patients that we're tracking in Joliet, every one of them who has passed away had at least 2 or more pre-existing conditions that contributed to it. So again, a small sample size, but it's what we're seeing here in Joliet. Finally, before I turn it over, the CDC has issued a health advisory this morning. I have copies here. I'm going to give it to the local media. We will put it on the local website. It has to do with the multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children that's being discovered in England and in some other states. I don't know if there's any cases of this here in New York, or I'm sorry, in Illinois, but the CDC has put that out, so we're going to get that out to the public so everyone can see what our top medical professionals in the country know about this so far. So with that, I do want to turn it over, and I want to thank the school leaders for being here today. I'll start with District 86, Dr. Teresa Rouse, if you could address everyone. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor, for this opportunity. Since March 17th, our students have been working with our 11,000 students and their parents in over 8,000 homes across Joliet. We're currently in week 8 of our remote learning plan, and I can't thank our families enough for their support and understanding as we work through this new way of learning together. Our teachers have been hosting online classes and activities to keep students engaged during each week, and I know they miss their students so much. While they're remaining connected to their students, they're also trying to balance being at home with their own children and family while they do all this work. I am so proud to know we have such incredible professionals working in our district. One example of our incredible professionals is a national award that has been given to one of our schools. Just this morning, we got notice, and I'm very proud to announce that Forest Park IE School has been awarded a 2020 National School of Character Award. Forest Park is the only school in the state of Illinois to receive this award. We'll be posting more information on our website through social media and press release out to local media later today. Currently, our employees are working on packing up student belongings that are still at the schools and scheduling times for parents to retrieve them before the end of the school year. One thing that we're adding to those belongings is that we've purchased graduation caps and gowns for all of our 8th graders. Since we're not able to hold an actual graduation ceremony, they can still have a cap and gown to take pictures at home. At the beginning of the COVID crisis, all of our 6th and 7th grade students had a Chromebook they took back and forth to school, between school and home. When the school closure was extended into April and then May, we offered each of our families the opportunity to come in and pick up a Chromebook for students in grades 2 through 5 and then grade 8. Currently, 77% of our students have a school Chromebook at home. In addition, we offer grab-and-go meals free to all children 18 years of age and younger. The breakfasts and lunches are distributed at the 4 junior high schools twice a week. We have provided over 270,000 meals since the middle of March. Our nutrition services employees have done an awesome job preparing the meals, and our administrators work to pass them out to the families as they come through the drive-through. We'll continue meal distributions every Monday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to noon through at least the end of June. We'll be offering summer school this summer virtually as well for about 1,000 students for about 5 weeks starting the end of June going into July. We're considering also options to be able to continue our grab-and-go meal services during the summer school as well. We sent out a survey earlier this week to all of our parents to give feedback about how the remote learning is going and to help us develop plans and scenarios for what's going to happen next year, because we all don't know what's going to happen in the fall. Parents, if you haven't filled out the survey or registered your students online, please do so. We need to know our numbers. We need your feedback to make those plans successful. Even though our schools are closed, we do have communication tools available to families rather than phone calls. If you go to our website, parents, employees, community members, even students can send us questions, comments, or concerns 24 hours a day, 7 days a week through our Let's Talk methodology. We receive nearly 100 messages a week, and we try to process those as quickly as we can. We also keep information updated on our Facebook page and Twitter account, which are both in English and Spanish. And our schools all have their own individual Twitter accounts where they keep information live and well as well. Thank you again for this opportunity, Mayor. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to our community.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for your leadership. I would call Dr. Carla Guzman from District 204. And I haven't had a chance to publicly congratulate you, so congratulations. I can't say welcome because you've been part of the system. But
Thank you. I want to thank Mayor Odekirk and the City Council for this opportunity to share information on behalf of Joliet Township High School. In these unusual and uncertain times, I'm so grateful for our community partnerships. As you know, and as Dr. Rouse said, on March 17th, education as we knew it changed drastically for schools throughout Illinois as buildings closed and we shifted to remote learning. But this has not stopped us. While our buildings may be closed, we remain open, and education continues in an online format thanks to our dedicated, creative, and flexible teachers, devoted staff, and supportive Board of Education. While remote learning is not perfect, we have experienced success. We are fortunate because JTHS provides computers to all of our students and Wi-Fi hotspots upon request. We have been a one-to-one district for several years. Teachers are Zooming with students and finding creative ways to connect from home. Each day, our students record their attendance online, and we have been averaging close to 5,000 students checking in each day. We continue to support our families by providing meal service on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at Central and West Campus. And also, as Dr. Rouse said, we will continue through June and we'll look for ways to continue for the rest of the summer. We have served over 57,000 meals to date. As this pandemic continues, we are doing everything in our power to boost student and staff morale. From daily communication that contains social and emotional and community resources to Mental Health Mondays, virtual Spirit Weeks, and sharing the awesome videos of encouragement from our students and staff. We've been letting our families know that we are here for them. Heavy on my heart right now are the seniors who are missing out on their in-person graduation. But with sadness and loss comes an awesome story of our community and staff coming together to produce a virtual graduation for the class of 2020. Thanks to the generous financial support of our JTHS Foundation and athletic boosters, we are working with Unides Marketing and Moonstep Productions. Both business owners are proud Joliet Central alumni, and their companies are local. Hours and hours are going into the production of the Joliet Central and Joliet West graduations that will air on May 29th at 7 p.m. The program includes heartfelt messages from our principals, Board of Education, and student graduation speakers. Central and West alumni serve as the graduation name readers, and while each name is read, an individual slide will appear on the screen with each student's name and photo. At JTHS, we have over 1,500 graduating seniors, so this is no easy task. Our staff is working around the clock to create this memorable virtual experience for our seniors, and I'm so thankful for the dedication of our staff and their time. And as the school year comes to close, we look to the summer. Although we will not hold in-person summer school and activities, we will offer online opportunities with a well-thought-out and structured curriculum. Online summer school includes classes for both credit, recovery, and advancement. An online summer bridge program is available for incoming freshmen, and we will hold online advanced placement and honors orientation programs as well. We are in the midst of planning virtual athletic camps an extended school year will take place online to meet the needs of our students with disabilities. We want all of our families to know that while our buildings may be empty this summer, education continues. On to finances. This is a tough time financially for so many, and this includes school districts. Currently, we are financially stable and in a good position. However, due to the pandemic, we are updating our financial forecast, and this information will be presented to the Board of Education next week. The good news is that we are estimated to receive $1.4 million from the CARES Act to support technology initiatives for the district. However, we do anticipate loss of revenue from property taxes and state funding. And of course, the question on everybody's mind, will students return to school buildings in the fall? The honest answer is we don't know. But what I can tell you is that we are working hard to develop plans. We are preparing for whatever situation may present itself, and we will be here for our students and our families to provide quality education along with the additional support that we know our students, families, and staff will need. That was a lot of information, I know, but there is a lot going on. I want our families and students who are listening today to know that they can reach out to us if there is anything they need. Voicemails are being forwarded to staff, emails so that we can return phone calls from home, and we are also available online through email. Our staff directory can be accessed through our website. Thank you again for this opportunity. Working together, we will get through this, and we will be better because of it. Thank you again.
Thank you, and great news. Thank you. Congratulations. Invite Dr. Judy Mitchell from Joliet Junior College.
Good morning, and thank you, Mayor Odekirk and the City of Joliet, for the invitation to provide an update on how Joliet Junior College has altered its operations to continue to support the community's needs now and share our plans for the future. We have been incredibly proactive in our approach to managing this crisis. Let me start by saying it's a bittersweet day for me. That is because today, May 15th, we would have held our spring 2020 commencement ceremony. On this day, I typically do a practice run of my speeches and prepare for very sore muscles after shaking hundreds of hands. What I look forward to most is sharing in the joy and celebratory spirit of the evening with our employees, our students, and their families. There really isn't anything better than to be together as a campus community, celebrating our collective achievements after a long academic year. The last 2 months, we have lived through a lot of instability and frustration with the constantly evolving information. We've transferred over 1,400 spring semester courses to an online format in just 2 weeks. We know that there continues to be many unanswered questions, and we are working every day to further define what our reality looks like in the coming months. Excuse me. Our mission, however, remains the same, and I'm grateful for the hope and positivity that our campus community collectively generates daily to support one another through these challenges. With that said, I do have one major announcement to start with. All fall 2020 lecture courses will be delivered online. This includes lecture courses that have been scheduled to be traditional face-to-face, as well as lecture courses that had been scheduled to be hybrid. Courses scheduled with a combination of lecture and lab will be delivered in a hybrid format, lecture online and lab face-to-face. The face-to-face component would be contingent upon the state's Restore Illinois plan and achievement of the Phase 4 standard. Until this standard is met, online lab simulations will be used in lieu of a face-to-face lab. Details will be developed and finalized by departments, deans, and academic affairs divisions and shared accordingly throughout the summer semester. Lab-only courses will be delivered face-to-face, again contingent upon the state's Restore Illinois mandates and achievement of the Phase 4 standard. I know this contains a lot of information, so please know it's been posted on our website for reference, and a news release has also been posted as well. It is important for us to remain proactive, decisive, and thoughtful in all of our planning to help our future and current students plan for their semesters. So here are some other details that apply to the college operations as of today. The college remains in Phase 2 of the Restore Illinois plan, operating remotely and facilities closed. Summer classes will be offered online only, and we have a full suite of support services easily available and accessible from our website. We are currently taking applications from students eligible to receive emergency funds for the spring semester from the federal stimulus package. So far, we've received over 600 applications for access to these funds. We anticipate $2.7 million of the federal stimulus funds that we receive will support our students directly in the form of grants for their college-related expenses. Additionally, donations to the JJC Student Emergency Fund have totaled nearly $4,500 in 2020, which the JJC Foundation distributes to those students in need. During these times of uncertainty, some students look to us for support with food and household items, technology to finish remote classes this semester, and even tuition assistance. Many students are affected by this crisis, creating unforeseen challenges that affect their academic goals. As one student who recently received these funds shared, the pandemic has impacted their ability to afford groceries. We are doing everything we can to ensure our prospective students and current students have access to the resources they need to take control of their future and to move forward. We launched a laptop loaner program for students at the start of the pandemic so they could continue with their courses if technology was a barrier. I'm encouraging our community to take control of the future and invest in reskilling or staying locally to take general education courses to transfer to a bachelor's degree. We have customized training and upskilling, including free classes in our corporate and community services area. We are also continuing development of a new program announced last year, our Respiratory Therapy, in our Allied Health Division. As always, we move forward with thought and care to support the well-being of our campus community. You may have heard over the last month that we've used our 3D Maker Lab to create face masks and other PPE for our frontline workers. Over 3,000 of these masks have been delivered to hospitals and healthcare facilities throughout our district. Our fine arts students have continued efforts remotely to support community members by hand sewing face masks. The work stems from a costume shop class we launched last summer, where students were initially tasked with creating costumes for the JJC theater performances. Students created over 50 masks in just the first week alone. Please know that despite the extreme challenges of this pandemic, Joliet Junior College continues in its mission to support access to education for all. We are the first community college in the nation. We have weathered many storms in our 120-year history, and we will weather this one. We have continued to drive innovation in the classroom and our support services. JJC is here for you today and every day, and we are ready to support your educational needs. We do not rest in tradition or history. We drive innovation and success. Again, Mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for your leadership. Finally, Dr. Arvid Johnson from College of St. Francis, University of St. Francis.
Well, good morning, and Mr. Mayor, thank you for inviting the University of St. Francis to participate today along with our Joliet school partners. Indeed, USF is proud of the hundreds of its alumni that serve Joliet and Will County as teachers and administrators in Joliet School District 86, Joliet Township High School District 204, and so many others. We're equally proud of our long-term partnership with Joliet Junior College, which has long been and remains our #1 source of highly qualified transfer students who desire to pursue their undergraduate degrees. Now, nearly every aspect of normal life has been affected by the spread of the novel coronavirus, and in the face of this global pandemic, USF has stepped up to make sure that our normally on-campus students were able to continue their educations in an online format, that we provided a safe environment for our international and other students who couldn't get home immediately, and that we have plans in place to meet a variety of future scenarios that we might face this fall. We know that some higher education institutions struggled with switching to online instructional methods this spring, but this was not new for us. Indeed, the University of St. Francis has been an early leader in distance education since the 1970s, and we've had fully accredited online degree programs for over 20 years. With nationally ranked online undergraduate and graduate programs, we felt our existing online teaching infrastructure was solid and able to continue to deliver high-quality outcomes for our students from day one, and we'll continue to make further improvements this summer. Indeed, our faculty and staff have been superb in quickly facing the problems associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. Our focus was and remains our students, which drives all of our decision-making. This has been clear in all of the steps that have kept USF moving forward, the most recent example of which was last Saturday when we conducted our first ever live-streamed virtual commencement, at which we celebrated over 400 graduates, including our first ever tassel ceremony for our undergraduates and a centennial pitting ceremony for our graduate students. Our new student enrollments this summer, which are traditionally primarily in online formats, appear strong and show us the value of maintaining and expanding our online programs to both undergraduate and graduate audiences. The limited number of students that we continue to have in our on-campus housing also remain a priority for us. We have ongoing social distancing spaces and policies in place, and our modified operational footprint continues to be sanitized regularly. Indeed, we've been deep cleaning and sanitizing all our on-campus spaces, even as we organize and plan for reopening our campuses for face-to-face instruction this fall. That said, our ultimate fall operating plan and format will be determined in consultation with local and health officials from the state and local governments, and we will continue to provide updates to our community over the summer as the picture becomes more clear. That said, our small class sizes of traditionally less than 15 students make it easier for us to maintain social distancing than many other schools. And to assist in this, we formed 2 task forces on our campus, one focused on academic matters to ensure safe classroom environments, and the other focused on our co-curriculars to ensure student safety in our dorms and around the campus. USF, like other universities, applied for and received the limited COVID-19 funding available from the federal government to help students facing financial difficulties. We quickly sorted through the evolving regulations associated with this funding and have mailed those funds to eligible students. That said, in further response to our students' challenges, we have created a COVID-19 emergency fund. Some students' parents have lost their jobs and finances will be tough come fall. To that end, university-funded support will be more important than ever, in addition to the over $21 million in university aid that we regularly provide our students. This COVID-19 Emergency Relief Fund will help USF respond to the needs of our students and our university community. I'd like to close by thanking our frontline COVID-19 heroes, many of whom are USF alumni and friends serving in nursing, healthcare, education, and other essential professions. We are grateful for the various ways that they are helping us to make real our mission of preparing women and men to contribute to the world through service and leadership. And thanks to their example, we remain confident that together we will make it through this challenging time and come out stronger than ever before. And so, in our Franciscan tradition, in this, our centennial year, albeit a centennial year that none of us would have planned for or wished, I wish you all pace e bene, or peace and all good things. Thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Doctor. Again, thank you, all of you, for coming forward. I get a lot of positive feedback about these press conferences. It's a great opportunity to keep our community updated, so I thank you for your service and for coming here today and sharing your stories. And big thank you to Forest Park. It's great news. Congratulations. A couple other items, and then I will open it up for questions. There is going to be tomorrow morning, we are doing a free COVID-19 mask giveaway. This is being sponsored by the Will and Grundy Trades. There's going to be 2 locations on the east side of Joliet. This will be from 9 o'clock in the morning to noon tomorrow. The one will be in the parking lot, the old Joliet prison, and the second will be at the Knoll Park Rec Center for the Joliet Park District. Again, anybody who needs or for their families or neighbors want free COVID-19 masks, there will be a giveaway tomorrow between 9 and 12. So thank you to the Will Grundy Trades. They're going to be out there tomorrow. I will be. I think other elected officials will also be out there. But please pass the word and let people in our community know that there is help for them if they need it. And then finally, I'm going to invite our Corporation Counsel, Marty Shanahan, to come forward. One of the many things we're working on here locally is how we're going to move forward, how we're going to reopen the local economy. As everyone knows, the governor issued a plan last week that's been met with a lot of mixed results. Different communities have been outspoken about it. We've met internally. We've drafted a document. I'm going to have Mr. Shanahan step up. We believe this is a responsible first step forward, and this is limited to Joliet restaurants. We are currently working on a plan for other small businesses. We're working on a plan for the churches. But last night I presented this plan to the governor's office and told them it was going to be released today. So I'll have Marty come up and give the details, and then we'll go from there. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Mayor. First thing I want to say is happy birthday, 18, to my daughter. I know she's out there listening, and she's a senior this year, so it kind of stinks for her. Okay, so this is for Joliet restaurants, and it is for outdoor dining. So the best information that we have right now is outdoor dining. So who does this apply to? It applies to any business or restaurant with a full kitchen. So most of those are liquor license holders. So those are Class A1, Class A2, Class B, E, and F. So what does this mean? So anyone who has full kitchen and those liquor license holders can have, think of it as outdoor dining. And if you want to do the outdoor dining, these are the second section is the off-premise, call it outdoor dining. And then there's a laundry list of things that we thought were necessary or good guidance for restaurants to open outdoors. This is actually kind of based off of a California plan where they have a dining. So again, there's a list of A through Z restaurants with outdoor dining. I'm just going to run through a couple of them very quickly. This is for alcohol can be served, but it has to be with a meal. Tables spaced out minimum of 6 feet. Hours 10 o'clock p.m. Sunday through Thursday, 11 o'clock p.m. Friday, Saturday. They have to have open side walls. They can have a top, but no side walls. No live entertainment, no bar areas. And except for restroom visits and takeout orders, the indoor premise is closed for public use. All customer-facing employees shall wear masks, but the customers themselves, it's not required to wear masks, and no parties larger than 10. And then there's some regulations or guidance in here about sanitation. So let's just say you're a business or restaurant and you don't have an outdoor dining area. So we try to come up with some ideas for them also. So in this particular one, if you have a parking lot, you can expand to create some outdoor dining up to 25% of the parking lot. And if you don't own the parking lot, you have to get, of course, permission from the property owner. And then there's a couple other guidance for places that don't currently have outdoor dining. And then there's also employer guidelines, employee guidelines, and then the guidelines for the restaurants themselves. Just to give you a quick example of that is like the salt and pepper shakers. Okay, you should not have those on the table. And menus, for example, these are things that if you can use disposable menus, that'd be preferred. And then finally, customer public guidelines. So this is kind of a first thought if a restaurant wants to open outdoor dining, and let's just see where it goes from there.
We'll have copies of the document, the entire document. I do want to thank Marty and our staff who put this together. The idea being, and I want to be clear about this, I do not want to be in an adversarial position with our governor. I know some other local officials have taken those positions. I don't intend to do that here in Joliet. Ultimately, I believe every elected official that I've dealt with, including the governor, is doing what they think is best for our community to move it forward. I feel the same way. There are disagreements, and they seem to be growing about what steps we need to take moving forward. But what we're seeing here locally with this document is a plan. It's a reasonable plan. We believe it falls within the parameters of the guidelines the governor had given regarding social distancing, regarding the proper face wear or equipment, and how the public and other people interact with each other. So this has been submitted to the governor. We're hoping to get approval from the governor. We are going to submit the other plans for other businesses and for churches moving forward. But ultimately, I want to see the city work in partnership with the state of Illinois. We have thus far. I've commended the governor previously when we had the issue with the Stateville outbreak in St. Joe's Hospital in danger of being overrun. I made a phone call to the governor's office, and within 24 hours, there were personnel here solving that problem. The National Guard was deployed. A mass unit was set up on the Stateville grounds. We also obviously have had issues with the Joliet nursing homes, and the governor has been very responsive with the Illinois Department of Public Health and get inside those homes to help solve the problem. So that's the spirit that this plan has been drafted in. Again, we submitted it last night, and we're hoping for approval moving forward. So again, those copies will be made available to the public. With that, I'll wrap it up. Again, I want to thank all our residents. This has been a community effort. It's going to continue to be going forward. As the weather gets nice, it gets warmer. I think more and more people are getting restless. So I do want to thank everyone for following the guidelines that have been given by the governor's office or by Washington through the CDC. And with that, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
On the outdoor plan, it says pending governor's approval, so this won't go in place to the restaurants until he approves it, or is it going to go out phased in, hoping he or expecting him to approve it?
Well, I think the governor made it clear this week. He had a press conference where he essentially said federal funding is going to come through him, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but if communities are not following his directives, they may not get the proper federal funds. That's not the position we want Joliet to be in. On top of that, the state liquor commissioner sent an edict down a couple days ago making it clear that if restaurants were not in compliance with the governor's orders, that they were in jeopardy of losing their liquor license. So again, there's plenty of people who are going to argue the legality of those things, but that's, as a mayor of Joliet, that's not the position I'm going to put the city in. I would recommend and not encourage, I think our local restaurants have to follow the governor's orders until we hear otherwise. What we're doing is we are pressing the issue, and we're doing, again, I think we are in compliance with what the governor has said. Not necessarily the phased Illinois approach, but the prior guidelines. And we think that we've developed a plan that follows his guidelines and also will help local restaurants and ultimately local businesses.
So just to be clear, then you are waiting for the governor's approval. You're not implementing this at a certain date.
We are. And again, for the reasons I said, we don't want to jeopardize ultimately what the city may be in line for, and we certainly don't want to see local businesses jeopardize themselves by moving too fast.
Mayor, last time the governor got back to you with state bills, you mentioned within 24 hours. What's realistic as far as with this plan for the restaurants? Would you like to see a week from now, this would be a thumbs up deal? Or?
I would, and I, there's loose talk about in the next 14 days, maybe things being lessened. I don't know with the region that the city of Joliet's been placed in. I'm not sure what the prognosis is. I do know other regional mayors or elected officials are very concerned about being tied to the city of Chicago or being tied to Cook County. And obviously some have made news with their pronouncements. So I do think, I think in fairness to the governor, wherever he drew the boundaries, there are going to be people angry if they think they're on the wrong side of the boundary. And it's evolving. I'm not sure that plan that he issued last week is set in stone. We're hoping it's not. We're hoping, again, that we're bringing something responsible forward that will be considered. And as this evolves, and as more information comes in, that there'll be some evolution in his thinking and his plans, and maybe things that a week ago he didn't think were possible, we may be able to move forward on.
So regarding businesses and churches, the plan you have, are you going to present that next week, are you saying?
Well, we're working on that. I saw the Archdiocese announce that they had reached some agreement. They're implementing a plan with the governor's office. Again, this was outside of what the governor has announced. And I think it's a positive step. And I think that's the way forward. I don't think anyone, certainly back in March, and our school officials can testify, no one knew what was coming. I certainly understand the reason for the lockdown, but now it's 2 months into it. We do have some idea. Certainly don't have a handle on the problem, but we have an idea, and we're all coping with it. And I believe the same is happening in Washington and in Springfield, that this is evolving. And we're hoping, again, that what we presented is the next step forward.
Can you provide any update on the discussions with city labor on concessions because of the COVID-19 situation?
I think they're meeting today with the city manager. I don't have an update. Steve, if you want to address that or not.
Correct. You just answered the question.
Yeah, there'll be meetings today. Otherwise, there's nothing new to report.
I just had a question for Joy Junior College. Do you guys expect to see any, you know, I know obviously the education, everything's there, but part, I know some of the kids, the lure is, hey, we're home, we stay home. If they have to take an online class, do you guys expect to see any drop in that of, hey, if I could go online, I can go anywhere in the country from my living room, not staying in Joliet, where going to the classroom in Joliet, you know, do you guys expect to see any of that, you know, slipping and like, you know, losing students that way, or?
Right, well, I can say that we're hopeful not. An initiative that we kicked off for the summer semester, because we knew students were struggling and just with the financial uncertainty of their home life, we did eliminate all of our course and lab fees for the summer to lower those costs. We have not identified what we're going to do for the fall as of yet. Again, we continue to wait for the daily and ongoing updates from the governor's office, but I can say that I'm very proud of the work that we've done, and because of that, it was about 3 weeks ago where our enrollment was down about 25% for the summer, and today we're down 6%. So a significant increase, yeah. So we're hopeful that we continue in that manner.
All right, well,
I have a question both for Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Johnson regarding, I don't know if you have anything indicating what fall enrollment would be like yet, and are the numbers showing that?
Right now, our continuing student numbers in terms of students who took courses in the spring and were projected to go into the fall are holding up very solidly. They're consistent with our traditional retention numbers, which are really strong. We're in the process of finalizing our freshman and transfer classes. Transfer classes get finalized over the summer, and both the freshman and transfer numbers currently look good. But as I was talking with Dr. Mitchell about earlier, the fact that the pipeline looks good doesn't mean that we're resting on our laurels, because the fact that a student says they're coming may change. And so we're staying in contact with each of our students, both from a transfer and a freshman perspective, to make sure we do everything to maximize the likelihood they will enroll in the fall in whatever format we're in.
So, thank you. So for us, we're very concerned about our fall numbers, and which is one of the reasons why we decided to come out early with our plan for fall. Right now, our enrollment is down about 40%, which is critical for the college. But what we are hopeful of is with the additional funding from the CARES Act, and we're hearing that the additional funding could come forward from the HEROES Act, that we can look at that. We've identified additional support, purchasing additional laptops for our students. The JJC Foundation has been extremely generous, offering gift cards to our students to help support their financial needs. We're working with parents. We're identifying, those communications early on. And like I mentioned earlier, for summer, a few weeks ago, we were 25% below, and now we're 6%. So we're confident that announcing early and making some of those decisions and communicating ongoing to our students and our families and their parents, that we'll see those numbers move. The other area that we know, and we continue to hear from so many parents who had plans to send their students away for the fall, and they were going to start at a 4-year college or university, who have also announced that they are online for the fall. So we're hoping to capture some of those students as well, that we otherwise would not have had come to JJC. And so by, again, having a lower cost, more affordable, that we're hoping we can support our parents in the community and see an increase there as well. But we'll continue to track those numbers. We're positive that they will go down.
Mayor, I was going to ask, in light of with Harris Casino and Hollywood both being shut down for the last 2 months, and obviously that's, I think, $1.4 million per month that the city loses in revenue. Has there been any talk with representatives from those companies, or have they approached the city about trying to come up with an alternative plan so they could get back open? Or?
I think internally they're looking for a way to do that. No, they haven't approached the city. And to be frank, with the clientele that you see at casinos and the close proximity, I'm not quite sure how effective it would be. But again, ultimately, that's a decision going to be made at a higher level. Yeah, we're losing a tremendous amount of revenue from the casinos, but I think it responsible. We should consider that that's not going to come back anytime soon. That would be my guess.
Just for both the colleges again, athletically, do you guys, I don't know if you guys have, do your schools have anything, is it going to kind of go with your governing bodies, or is there something without students on campus or whatever? Are you guys not going to participate, or is it just going to go with whatever the governing body says, and that's, kind of think we'll let that go.
We're an NAIA institution, and we'll follow the guidelines of the NAIA. But chances are, if there are not on-campus, face-to-face classes, it would be unlikely that we will have traditional athletics. That said, if there's going to be limited on-campus, we may have athletic contests with nobody in the audience.
Right.
And so there's a number of options. I know NAIA, which I serve on that board, is considering it over the summer, and we'll probably have an announcement out in June or July.
Because some states may allow.
Yes,
You know,
yeah.
so they can. open
And it'll
their
be a
state.
regional, it may be a regional thing. And so part of what we're looking at is, for certain fall sports, how much of a shortened season can we have and still have a season that would qualify for nationals?
And for JJC, we follow the NJCAA regulations as well. So very similar to what Dr. Johnson had said. The plan is right now that we could potentially open in phase 4, you know, and just have the teams play, the local teams play without spectators. But again, you know, we have meetings ongoing and we'll update as soon as we know.
Well, thank you again, everyone, for coming out. I do want to, again, thank all our medical professionals locally. I want to thank our first responders, all the essential workers. I want to thank the school leaders who came forward today, city staff. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and again, enjoy the weekend. It's going to be beautiful weather. But just to, I guess, close on the sentiments I heard earlier. As a community, we will make it through this. So thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend.